Hi, I'm back again. I've been pumping a lot of tier lists out, but now that I quit RC, I'm kind of bored, so I just started to make tier lists. This time we're gonna rate Robocraft League seasons based on enjoyability and quality. Uh, these are a little odd, so I'm just gonna put one, two, three, four, five. One being the most enjoyable, five being least. I'm gonna start it off with season one and two. I think this was the most enjoyable. Bots were the most diverse in this era. Planes were somewhat viable. They weren't really like meta, but they were somewhat viable. Uh, there were the meta hovers, the signature ones. Mortar hovers with various weapons, like they actually carried flak sometimes. Flak, but a lot of times they just carried SMGs or rails. There were also the meta hovers with rail and mega SMG variants. Sometimes instead of ion they had plasmas, and overall the bot types were very diverse, even with the limited options. And back then there was like five slots as well, so sometimes you could like mix a bunch of nanos and like modules based on your comp. Like I think the Japanese players always carry like three DSMs to work their way around the point, which was like really good. So yeah, I think season one and two were the best was the best season of all of them. And in second place, I would put season four. Season four was when sprint planes first start to become a thing. They were at first they were fine because spirit planes were like entirely new concepts, and full noodle building was also a very new concept, so it wasn't like viewed as lowly as it is now. Like the very meta was very new, and back then rail ion balancing was a little bit less severe. So well, rail could actually one shot a lot of the mecha weapons, so it could be used as a secondary. And this might sound unbalanced, but that actually allowed a lot of diversity in the bots, like rail nanos. Like that was a viable option because you could defend yourself using only rail, and now you can use a secondary with nanos. And there's also rail ion power module, rail ion DSM. Those are like the two biggest point presence fighters, and choosing the balance between these two bot types was one of the key parts to victory, right? And the skill sets required for both was very different. With Ion Rail and with DSM, you have to manage your energy very well, so you have to like make sure every shot counts. While with Rail Ion Pyro module, you have to make sure to be able to do like speedy combos up close, like rail shots, iron shot, pyro module, rail shot, ion module, ion shots, iron shot, kind of like that. So it was really fun, I'd say. And Mortar was actually viable as a Mortar rail as well. So, and back then we didn't really know like point blank things. So season four Mortar was like actually properly mortaring from away like backline, and it was overall very enjoyable, I'd say. Oh yeah, also planes were still viable, I think. And then third place, I would put copters and megaplasmas. The meta was very slow, I would say that. But and the rails were like rapid fire rails, which I personally did not enjoy. But the overall balance of Mega SMG versus Mega Rail was a lot better than the other two seasons that we had. Uh, in season four, there was actually Mega SMG was actually garbage, but everything else was more balanced. Uh, and unlike here, a lot of the times you couldn't really combo two mega weapons. Like sometimes it happened where you put like the giant mega plasma on the front, but that was about it for the combinations. So yeah, I don't think season three was as good as season four, especially since the gameplay was very slow due to copter base speed being like 170 or 180 kilometers per hour, which is stupid slow, and they had no speed boost either. But overall, it was okay. I'd say like season three was the average kind of league that I would expect. And back then, people, a lot of like regions still cared about the game, so there's a lot more competition than season four, five, and six. Coming in number four, season five. Now this meta was very stupid because we had something called Blink module become meta. At first, it was refreshing to see Blink finally enter the meta because it has been regarded as a meme garbage model until then. But we soon realized that no one fucking died thanks to everyone blinking out at the last moment. It was overall a very cancerous meta, and here Rail couldn't actually one shot any weapons, like any mega weapons at all, which made Rail and Ion be mandatory to be equipped together if you're gonna use either. And Rail Ion, both of their energy efficiencies were stupid good back like during this time, and it was overall very very boring. Uh, also, Tier 4 chain was very annoying because it shred through your bot, but I don't think it was too big of an issue. Like a lot of people complain about Tier 4 chain, but I just really didn't like long range tagging. But other than that, I didn't really mind it too much since Tier 4 chain. This is the first time we've seen Tier 4 chain in the meta. And lastly and the least, the most recent league, Season 6, where we had hover spam. I've already expressed this in my balance patch rant video, but hover spam was absolutely atrocious. It was fucking stupid. It should have never happened. And that's the biggest reason why I put it in number 5. Everyone was way too mobile, I'd say, and the game just pacing just didn't feel right. Especially since Robocraft in general, it's supposed to be a slower paced game in general. Uh, but it did bring light to PSK because everything was so fragile. But still, regardless, I think that this season 6 was very unenjoyable. Season 6 was basically season 5, but everything's faster. And instead of PSK, we got tier 4. Instead of tier 14, we got PSK and Plasma. But other than that, bot diversity was very low. Sometimes you just got PSK and Plasma, but that's all you added to here. You just added a lot more hovers to this era. So yeah, I'd say this is my tier list of how enjoyable and how much quality each season of League had. Yeah, that's about it. Bye bye.